Man, we were just having a pretty decent week in PlayStation, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we don't have Last of Us Part 1 gameplay, which still bothers the hell out of me, right? But we did get the unveiling of the DualSense Edge, finally, a DualSense that is of the Pro variant with back buttons and all that, and then we wake up to this news. Yes, the PlayStation 5 has increased in price for a few countries. We'll go over all of the countries that are going to be affected here with this price increase, and we have to answer, of course, why the US has not gotten the price increase. And this is pretty much going to be an all info video on what you need to know if you are in these countries that the PlayStation 5 price increase is in effect right now. But before we get to all of that, what is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD12D here, back here in PlayStation Source, and let's get right into it. So this chart down below was courtesy of the good guys over there at Push Square. However, I did add some green font with different, dollar sign amounts that will reflect the increase of each country in USD, because of course I'm a dumb American, and I just wanted to know how much the increase was reflective of the US dollar. And so that will be to the right of each of these entries. And we're going to go over country by country, and you will know exactly how much the PlayStation 5 is increasing in your country. So first up here we have Europe, that is increasing by 50 euros, which will be $49.76 in the USD for both of these SKUs, of course, being the PS5 with the disc drive and the digital edition as well. We next up have the UK, that will be increasing the price to £30, being of course $35.50 in USD. Next up we have Japan, that will be increasing by 5,000 yen, which is $36.50 in USD. Next up, we have China, which is going to be increasing by 400 yuan, I believe is how you say that. My bad if I mispronounced that. And it will be $58.30 for the USD translation of that increase. Next up, we have the Australian dollar, which will be increasing by 50, which is going to be $34.53 in USD. We have the Mexican peso, which is going up by 1,000, which will be increasing by $50.12 in the USD. And last year, we have the Canadian dollar, which will be increasing by 20 Canadian dollars, which is $15.41 in USD. And other than Japan, that will be getting its increase in pricing on September 15th for reasons that I don't know about, all the other countries that are named here on this list will be getting their prices increased as of right now. It is happening right now. That is the new price in those countries. Kind of sucks that they didn't get a heads up on this price increase, but you know what I'm saying, that's just how it goes, and we're gonna have a lot that's here to say about this whole thing. But going here, why is this happening? Okay, what reasoning did Jimbo Ryan give on the PlayStation blog at 2 a.m. in the morning in the US? And granted, hey, because this is not affecting US, all right, I guess it made sense to probably post it where it is going to be daytime in certain countries and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying, 2 a.m. you probably were trying to bury the news, which I understand, I suppose. This is not great news, it's bad news, right? But Jimbo Ryan had this to say on the blog, quote, "The global economic environment is a challenge that many of you around the world are no doubt experiencing. We're seeing high global inflation rates, as well as adverse currency trends impacting consumers and creating pressure on many industries. Based on these challenging economic conditions, SIE has made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price of PlayStation 5 in select markets across Europe, Middle East, and Africa, Asia Pacific, Latin America, as well as Canada. There will be no price increase in the United States. While this price increase is a necessity given the current global economic environment and its impact on SIE's business, our top priority continues to be improving the PS5 supply situation so that as many players as possible can experience everything that PS5 offers and what's still to come." So essentially, he blames things like the incoming recession, high inflation rates and all that, and different adverse currency trends, I said here as well, and all of those equal out to the PS5 rising in cost in select countries. Okay, so why is this not happening in the US is a very big question that I had as well, right? And there is a great article linked below in the description to Sammy Barker's Push Square article. Very insightful article that goes over some of the reasons why the US did not get a price increase. Now, I will not be going over every single point here that he brings up in this article. I highly recommend down below in the description, go check out that article for yourself. yourself, read it for yourself, learn a thing or two, because I certainly did. But here are some of the key points that he did say in this article. 1, Sony is looking to maintain profitability with its already raised within margins of the PS5, as is based off of its component costs and shipping costs from country to country. So this is something that a lot of other companies are facing, right? Where we have this shipping issue where it is costing more to ship the same amount of things and the same weight amount of things as well, right? Because a lot of that shipping is done by weight. It is costing more to do that than pre-pandemic times before 2020. So that's been having a lot of issues and everything, along with the chip shortages as well, right? So you can assume that you have the chip shortages that are causing chips to be much more in cost, and the act of shipping goods that would have cost an X amount of dollar amount are now more based off of the same materials that you're shipping. You're going to lead to just higher costs in order to even get the PlayStation 5 console to these countries, thus needing a price increase. And next up here, another one that I definitely thought of in the moment was that Sony has to actually compete in the US, you know what I'm saying? Like the Microsoft Xbox platform, is a big part of the US gaming market. And unlike other parts of the world and other, different regions and everything, PlayStation is dominant outside of the US as opposed to Xbox, where their main home base is the United States. And so they definitely have to compete in the US with Xbox, where they don't have to in other regions and territories. Therefore, that's a really crappy argument, and that's a really, not crappy as in like it's untrue, but crappy in its nature, that hey, Sony has to remain competitive in the US as opposed to them already being the dominant leader in other countries around the world, where they don't have to be that competitive in terms of pricing. And lastly here, he does cite that the USD is still strong at this point and is retaining its value in spite of other countries' currencies, where those are definitely on the downhill slope and losing their value overall due to inflation. Inflation are affecting other countries a lot more than the US is currently right now. That is set to at some point change, and I definitely don't rule out that at some point perhaps it will hit the US, where the PS5 may increase in price in the US. That could definitely be an outcome that we see here in the coming weeks and months as we head more towards that recession that is definitely incoming. So what are my final thoughts here on this PS5 price increase? Obviously this sucks, right? It's bad. It's not, anything that you can really spin. There's no way around the fact that this is just a horrible move and a bad look, considering that Microsoft came out and said that they are not at all going to lower the cost of the Microsoft Xbox Series consoles from X and the S perspective. So that's already just a bad look as a whole, and there's no way around it. It looks really bad, right? It's not a good thing, and there's people online that are trying to spin this in some positive way. They're trying to make it sound like it's a good thing into some capacity, or that it's not necessarily a bad thing. You're weird for that. You're weird for that. No, it's a bad thing. This is a corporation that is increasing its prices, and inevitably that is going to be a bad thing to some degree, right? It's definitely a bad thing. This is definitely a bad situation, right? But I can still say that while it is a bad thing, that there's no way around that, it's definitely a bad thing, we can at least understand why this is happening and really just have that as well, right? I feel like you can comfortably say, hey, this is a bad thing, while still understanding why this is happening beyond the bounds of greed. Because as a whole, you can just boil this down to greed if you want to. Sure, there's a lot of things that I'm going to break down here that you can just say, yeah, Sony's being greedy. Absolutely, right? But the actual reasoning behind it is what I at least want to highlight, and at least give them the benefit of the doubt there from that standpoint, and just show that, yeah, okay, definitely this sucks. You can look at it as greed, but there's definitely more to the story than just those two things. We are heading towards a recession, okay? Like there's no way to even dodge that, right? That isn't a laughing matter. I just laugh, but it's not funny, right? Like, we are hitting a recession in the coming months. Inflation is already here, okay? I don't like paying more for gas, right? But we all are paying more for gas, right? I don't like paying more for food, but we're all paying more for food right now, right? Those companies, those industries are, bringing up the price of gas because of inflation, and the same thing with food as well. And from a more personal level, right, I'm literally recording this in my parents' house because, in part, right, not the full reason, but in part, that is because the rent prices in my state are insane. They're insane. You know, like I literally cannot afford right now to live on my own. And many you know, there's many people out there that are in that same boat as me, and that is because we are heading towards a recession, and during times of inflation, the cost of goods go up. So it's affecting many more industries than just the gaming industry, right? And for it to somehow just disregard the game industry, right, and just for it to not hit it, that would be I'd say that would be very wishful thinking. Like, clearly it was at some point going to catch up to us, and here we are, right? Here we are. We saw, you know, some little brief look at it with when the Quest 2 got its price increased not too long ago. Like, that is a, you know, real one-to-one case here where we are seeing these price increases due to having to offset the cost of shipping and, you know, high rising component costs, this, that, and the third. So yes, it's bad. Those things are bad, right? Would I have loved if Sony just upped the bill, right? Front the bill, okay? Just take the losses and keep the price as is during this time of inflation and an incoming recession, and just, you know, eat the cost, right? Would we all have loved that? Yes. Would I have wanted that? Yes. I'm sure everyone in the world would have loved that. Yes, right? But at the end of the day, they are a business. They exist to make money. Would it have been the moral choice to not charge people more for the same product, that being the PS5? Yes, right? But sometimes, you know, business and morality don't really coincide with each other. When it's really down to the ones and zeros, when it's really down to the bottom line, you know what I'm saying? The businesses will just take your money. You know what I'm saying? They do not care about you. Businesses are not your friend. Sony is not your friend. PlayStation is not your friend. Microsoft is not your friend. Xbox is not your friend. These are businesses that purely exist to make money. And especially with a head of, you know, PlayStation like Jim Ryan right now, who has had many times to prove that he is a man that only cares, well, not only cares, let's not say that, but very much so cares about the bottom line of Sony and PlayStation itself, right? You can assume that this move would have been made, right? Because of course their focus here is to make money. We see them making and turning these old IP or current IP that we have right now and making them into shows, in the movies. We just got news today that the Horizon show is being held by Netflix and all that. Like, there's a reason for that. It's for money. So all I'm saying is that yes, these prices suck. Okay, this increase on the PS5 prices do suck, but at the end of the day, it is a business, and you cannot trust the business corporation to make the morally right choice, which would have been to probably not charge more for the same console, right? For the exact same console, okay? And, you know, at the end of the day, these are just here to offset the increased price in shipping and chip manufacturing and all that stuff that is affecting everyone globally, right? And that's just how it is, okay? And, like, I don't like it. You don't like it. No one here likes it. But hey, at the end of the day, that is what it is. They are a business. They have their reasonings for the bottom line, and that's just the game we play. You know, that's just how that goes. But all I'll say is that, hey, if you're gonna increase the PS5 price, right, that's cool, right? But can we get a PlayStation Showcase here pretty soon to show off the value of purchasing a PlayStation 5? Can we get that soon? That would be nice, you know? Because Lord knows we're not getting the Last of Us Part 1 gameplay at all. You know, we have yet to see a full God of War Ragnarok state of play yet. You know, we have yet to see what is coming out in 2023. So I am hoping for that PS Showcase here as well in the near future to hopefully show the value in buying a PlayStation 5, not only at the prices that they were yesterday, but the prices that they are here today. So what do you guys think down below in the comment section? What are your thoughts? Sound off below, especially if you are in the countries that this price increase is affecting. How are you feeling about this increase? Down below as well, you can find all the links to the relevant articles that we brought up here on this video, as well as links to our Discord, Twitter, and our Anchor link that you can listen to. Of course, Road to Part 1 coming out next week. The game is coming in hot, and we do have this Sunday, we're covering bets and predictions episodes. What is the Metacritic going to be? We will bet on it this Sunday. Like if you've enjoyed it, as well as hit subscribe to PlayStation Stories to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.